Better Call Saul brought back one key Breaking Bad character for a cameo in the series finale, but the spin-off almost brought them in much earlier and ruined the surprise. Alan Sepinwall's new book Saul Goodman vs. Jimmy McGill, the complete critical companion to Better Call Saul, is, for the most part, an insightful episode-by-episode guide breaking down this incredible crime saga. But it also contains a few interviews with the show's creators in which they discuss a few interesting story ideas that got scrapped, including a Breaking Bad cameo that never came to fruition. Over the course of Better Call Saul's 6 seasons, the show brought in a bunch of iconic characters from Breaking Bad. Tuco Salamanca threatened Jimmy McGill in the pilot episode, Hank Schrader grew to resent Saul Goodman, and Walt and Jesse popped up near the end when the spin-off caught up to the events of Breaking Bad. But according to Sepinwall's book, Better Call Saul had even more Breaking Bad cameos planned. The writers hoped to have Kim Wexler represent Skyler White, but Kim's story went in another direction. They also planned to bring in Marie much sooner. A scrapped Better Call Saul storyline would have had Jimmy representing Marie Schrader. Marie would have hired Jimmy to get her out of a shoplifting charge. Marie Schrader in Breaking Bad. As they went into each season, the writers tried to come up with novel ways to incorporate familiar Breaking Bad characters into the spin-off, and ended up finding places for dozens of them in the story. Jimmy and Kim conned Ken, the loudmouthed stockbroker whose car was blown up by Walt. Nacho Varga cooked up the diabolical scheme that landed Hector Salamanca in his wheelchair. But not every idea for a Breaking Bad cameo came to pass. The writers would eventually bring Marie into the final episode of Better Call Saul, but they wanted to bring her in much earlier. A subplot in Breaking Bad revealed that Marie had a history of kleptomania, and it had caused strain on her marriage. Every time Marie got caught stealing, Hank had to put his reputation on the line and use his connections with law enforcement to get her off the hook. Marie's original Better Call Saul appearance would have seen her hiring Jimmy to get her out of a shoplifting charge before Hank found out. Jimmy would have been the perfect lawyer for this, because he'll do whatever it takes to stay out of a court of law. The idea came up a couple of times throughout the show's run. When it was first pitched, she would have hired Jimmy. But later down the line, when this storyline came up again in the writer's room, she would have been represented by criminal lawyer Saul Goodman. Saul is the one who had a contentious professional relationship with Hank, so that would have made for a dramatically juicy conflict. Eventually, this storyline was abandoned altogether and Marie wouldn't appear until Jimmy went on trial in the Better Call Saul finale. Marie's eventual Better Call Saul appearance was much more powerful than that would have been. Jimmy representing Marie would have been more fun, but less impactful. It would have been fun to see Jimmy, or Saul, represent Marie and come up with a zany scheme to get her off the hook for a shoplifting charge. They would have undoubtedly had a really funny dynamic, with Marie acting as the deadpan foil to Saul's colorful antics. But the writers arguably made the right choice by holding off on introducing Marie until the very end. As hilarious as it would have been to see Marie as one of Jimmy's clients, seeing a grieving Marie seeking justice for her husband's death is undeniably much more powerful. Marie puts on a brave face, gets in a room with Jimmy, and directs all her resentment of Walt's criminal empire toward its only remaining founding member. Better Call Saul could have gotten some comedic mileage out of Jimmy representing Marie, but it got plenty of dramatic mileage out of their confrontation in the finale.